Hello everyone. In this guide, we will look at the Harbinger open world Condi build that offers very high sustain and very high damage, and you will be able to solo most open world content with it without any issues. For the armor, we're using a full set of Viper armor with Trapper runes, Viper pistol and torch with Sigil of Demons and Sigil of Torment, and a full set of Celestial trinkets with the Relic of Akim. Trapper runes are not sold directly on the trading post, and you will have to craft them. You will need an armorsmith or a leather worker or a tailor that is at least level 400, and you will also need to make sure you have the recipe unlocked, and if not, buy it from the trading post for a very cheap price. If you are not able to craft the superior rune of the Trapper, then you will use Elementalist instead. Sigil of Torment can be very expensive if you don't have enough resources. So if that was the case, you can use Sigil of Bursting instead. It's not exactly cheap, but it's cheaper than Torment. If the superior version was too expensive, you can use the rare one, which is 2 gold and much cheaper, and it will still give you a decent boost for condition damage. If you don't have the expansion, or Relic of Akim is hard for you to get, then you can use Relic of the Crate instead. And also, if you don't have the new expansion and you can't use Torch on your Harbinger, then you will use Warhorn, same stat and same sigil. I have also tested this build using full Celestial armor instead of Viper, and the sustain was much better. The damage was a little lower, but it was still decent enough. So it can work with Celestial gear if you have that. For the food, we will use oysters with spicy sauce, and for the utility, we will use the Master Tuning Crystals. In case you missed my previous guide, there is now a new vendor in World vs. World that will sell stat-selectable, exotic, level 80 armor, weapons, and trinkets. So this will be a very good way to gear up your character if you are short on resources and you do some World vs. World. As you will see, the prices are much cheaper and it doesn't need too much badges of honor. For the traits, we are using this magic 3, 2, 2, and then curses 2, 2, 2, and Harbinger 3, 3, 3. For our utilities, we have the minion as our heal, and then Signet of the Locust with Spectral Grasp, and Elixir of Risk with Elixir of Ambition. If you don't want to use any minions at all, your second best option will be Well of Blood. This magic is where your sustain will come from. The buff you will get from it is going to be very easy to get, and it will significantly increase your sustain because of the toughness. And then from the Adapt trait, this is going to help a lot with the cleanses. The Master trait is going to give you some decent damage reduction and condition damage reduction because of the protection. And then from this trait, this will reduce the condition damage even more when you have more than 10 of the Carapace buff, which is very easy to get. And the Grandmaster trait will make sure that you have pretty much permanent protection and a lot of toughness to go with it. We also have the Grandmaster trait in curses that will heal you as you apply conditions, which you will do a lot of them, so that will give you a lot of passive heals. And then from those two traits together, you will significantly gain a lot of critical chance, which will also increase your condition damage, and it will also increase your precision even more, which will also allow you to do more bleeding. And then the Adapt trait is going to help much more with the cleanses, and this trait will make your skill number 2 in Shroud remove boons, which will be very useful in most cases. From the Harbinger trait line is where we are going to get a lot of our damage. We will easily cap 25 stacks of Blight pretty much most of the fight, and so this is going to significantly increase your condition damage, and then this trait will increase your expertise, and the Grandmaster trait will increase your condition damage. And also from the trait, simply by going to your Shroud, you'll apply Torment and Weakness in a radius around you. And Blight itself is also going to significantly contribute to your healing, and it will help a lot with your sustain, so it's not just good for damage. Signet of the Locust is there for 2 reasons. Number 1, it will give you a lot of passive speed, which will be very helpful in open world, but also this is significant heal, especially if you use it when you are fighting multiple mobs. It will give you a lot of heal. I prefer the minion heal because it will passively heal you even when you are in Shroud, and it will also help take the aggro a little bit away from you. If you decided to use Will of Blood instead, sometimes you may find yourself needing to get out of Shroud to just heal. Spectral Grasp is very good to pull mobs to you at the beginning of the fight, which will make it easier for you to cleave. And the 2 elixirs are very good for the buffs and damage they will do, but even more important for the blight they will provide at the beginning, which will give you a very good burst of damage and heal at the beginning of the fight. Shroud is where everything is going to come from, and we will always try to be in Shroud as long as we can, and we will only get out when the life force expires. And whenever it's available, we will go back to it again. And remember that because of this trait, even if you have literally 0 life force, you can still go to Harbinger Shroud, because the trait will automatically give you some life force, which will enable you to stay a few seconds in Harbinger Shroud. The way we will use this build is, at the beginning of the fight, you will use the 2 elixirs. This will give you a lot of buffs, it will apply a lot of conditions on the enemies, and it will give you a lot of blight, which will help with your sustain and damage. If you are fighting multiple mobs or you need a little bit of life force, you can use Spectral Grasp. Once you are done with those, you will go to Harbinger Shroud and you will spam your auto attack with number 2 whenever it's on cooldown, and those will be the 2 skills you will rely on. You will completely ignore skill number 3, you will only use it in very rare cases when you want to just catch up with the enemy. Skill number 4 is very good if you want to break bar or you need some CCs. And skill number 5 is also going to be very good for CCs and breaking bar, and it will also help generate some life force. Also, skill number 4 and 5 will work very well with the relic we are using, because that will help us disable enemies, which will apply even more conditions on the enemies around us. Once you are out of your shroud, just spam all of your weapon skills and use your utility skills as explained, and whenever your shroud is ready again, just go to it regardless of how much life force you have. And don't forget that there are some buffs we can take that will make any open world build work much better. I made a couple of guides on this subject, I will leave them in the description below. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below and I will get back to you as soon as possible. And if you found this guide helpful, please subscribe to see more guides in the future. I will now leave you with some footage for this build in action. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next guide.